this is Ren Rants, a channel where I rant about various political topics for 7 minutes or less. This is my first video on this channel, so I'm just going to give a quick introduction of basically like who I am, and then a little more about the formats of these videos, and then hopefully with this I'll also post my first couple of rants so you can see me in action. So I guess I'll just start with a little bit about me. My name is Ren. Obviously, I live in Seattle, Washington in the United States. I'm an atheist, which I think is important to tell you because I will probably be making a few posts or videos about religion, and I feel like it's important to understand my biases. That's why I'm going to make all of my other political positions and leanings extremely clear, just from the get-go, so that, you know, there's no surprise or, aha, she must only believe this, because, like, I just want it to be very clear where I'm coming from, and then through my videos, hopefully you'll kind of see how I've gotten to the positions where I'm at, and who knows, if this series ends up working out, I may make it longer and end up showing you how my perspectives change over time, because they often do. So I'm also I politically identify as a democratic socialist, if I had to identify as anything. Like most other people, one politician generally doesn't fit all of my viewpoints. I would say the absolute closest anyone's ever gotten in the United States is Bernie Sanders, who I supported in what ways I could in the election this year. I can't vote because I'm originally from Canada. I am a lawful permanent resident, although it looks like Trump's going to make sure that that doesn't matter. And so I do have an immigrant's perspective as well, although obviously I feel kind of weird labeling myself as an immigrant when, you know, I so easily pass as a non-immigrant, so I don't really suffer any form of, like, latent discrimination most of the time. No one asks me where I'm really from, you know, people just assume that I'm, like, a white girl from somewhere in the U.S. So that's a thing. What else? I have a political science degree from Seattle University. I'm currently prepping for law school, and I have 2 jobs in the legal industry, one at a personal injury law firm and one at a program that helps low-income people facilitate legal aid and assistance. So when it comes to people living in poverty or a lot of issues in the legal field or industry, I really do know my shit. I work very closely with attorneys. I also work very closely with people living in poverty and actually take down all of their income information, including any federal programs they get income from or any state programs. So I actually know a fuck ton about the welfare system, and I'll be making a couple of videos on that later on, because I think there are a lot of misconceptions there that really need to be cleared up because they're actively harming people. I also have a background in British parliamentary debate. Yes, that is the same format that Ted Cruz did. And so I think that's really relevant because of 2 reasons. First, BP debate is the reason that I've decided to make my videos 7 minutes or less. British parliamentary debate speeches are 7 minutes long. Generally, we get the topic 15 minutes before we're debating on it. Our positions are assigned to us, so we don't even know what side we're taking on it until right before we get the motion. And then we make a 7-minute speech kind of off the cuff where we try to boil everything down. We're allowed to use like briefs and other resources like that, but generally it's kind of just what you know. And I think that's really good for this format, because I think 7-minute videos is kind of like the ideal length of video. It's long enough that you can get a little bit in depth and, you know, provide a lot of good information, but it's not so long that people get bored or that there's so much content that if you want to discuss it or argue about it, that you have to like slog through this entire video to get to the information you want. The other reason that I think British parliamentary debate is relevant to my videos is because I've often had to argue from perspectives I disagree with. So I'm very used to, you know, putting myself in the side of the other in the shoes of the other side, and kind of trying to think about how they would argue and what they would argue if they were arguing against me. Because, you know, I've actually had to do that for debate. You know, I've had to argue against Obamacare or against things I believe in. Sometimes I do squirrely things where I find a different point of attack that doesn't, you know, clash with my own ethical views. Other times I just kind of go balls to the wall with what I've heard the opposition say, and I just hammer the rhetoric down. Or I did. I'm graduated now, so I don't get to debate anymore. But I do get to judge, and that's really fun. But back on topic, regarding the rants, so they're going to be 7 minutes or less. I do reserve the right to make multiple rants on the same subject, partially because I don't think there's any subject where you can say everything that needs to be said in 7 minutes or less, and partially because, like I said before, my views and opinions actually often change over time, um, because I don't really attach myself emotionally to any of my views or ideas. I don't attach my ego to them. I don't attach my personality to them. I attach myself to whatever seems most logically correct and most morally correct, based on my own biases and paradigms. So, things change over time. New information comes out, new perspectives are revealed that might change the way I view something, and I feel like it's important never to shut myself off from that. So I feel like long term, there will probably be some topics that I end up going back to and making a whole new video about that you might even contradict my previous video. Um, if my viewpoint changes super radically, I might like edit parts of the old video into the new video and debate myself. Who knows? I'm kind of open to all kinds of stuff. The other thing is I'm really lazy and I'm incredibly busy because, again, I do work 2 jobs. I have school, I have steel fighting, I have a boyfriend, I have a life, I have a whole lot of things to do besides make videos, even though it's something I enjoy. So these videos are going to be lazy. Like this one, they're going to be pretty much completely unscripted, except for maybe a couple of bullet points so I remember what to talk about. And I'm going to try to update as often as possible, but I'm not going to commit to daily just because I feel like if I do that, this will become more of a chore than an outlet, because that's really what it is for me. Since this is the intro video, I'm going to let myself go a little past 7 minutes, but basically, with the recent political climate and everything else that's been happening lately, I've been feeling like I have a lot to say, but that I don't have very many people to say it to. So I decided that the YouTubes would be a really good place to go, in terms of expressing myself with the potential of other people listening. And maybe this will just be one of those channels that gets 5 subscribers and then falls into obscurity and disappears, or maybe people like what I have to say. But regardless, I do feel the need to say a lot of things. Oh, and then one last thing before I go, because I really do want to try and keep these videos short. With all of my videos, especially any that will be responding to other people, because I might do some response videos. There are a lot of other opinionated YouTubers out there on both sides who I just subscribe to, and sometimes I have a lot of responses that I'd like to send to them, and I didn't get around to it before, but I think I'm going to try to get around to it now. So if I do a video response or any kind of specific response, if I respond to a specific article, if I respond to a specific claim, if I respond to or make an accusation or a specific argument against or about Trump or any other person, I will always promise to link you the full video, the full article, the full whatever I'm responding to, so that you don't just have to take my word for it, and so that you can see, in its entirety what the other side said. I think that's also really important for response videos, so that you will be, absolutely certain that I'm not taking the other person out of context or strawmanning them or altering what they've said. I've seen people do that a lot on YouTube, and I think it's really shitty. So personally, I'm going to do everything I can to avoid that. And that's all I have for you for now. Stay tuned for my next couple of videos. I hope you like them, and here's to more YouTubing.